Hey cosplayers. In today's apprenticeship, I'll teach you how to make Anakin Skywalker / Luke Skywalker / what appears to be Finn's lightsaber. I'll teach you how to make this lightsaber that spanned the entirety of the Star Wars Saga, cheap and easy using PVC and an off-the-shelf thermoplastic. Stay tuned. Are you ready to make an amazing replica Anakin, Luke, Finn lightsaber without purchasing an expensive Graflex flash or owning a metal shop? And do it in less than 8 hours? Well, let's get started, my young Padawans. First, you need to overcome your fears and discover yourself in a perilous mission to discover your crystal. No, I'm just kidding. Let's skip that part and jump straight to downloading, printing, and cutting out the template I made for you in the description below. Wrap the template around a 1 1/4 inch PVC pipe and tape the ends together with some scotch tape that is. Then mark a line on the PVC 1 inch from the bottom of your template. Using pipe cutters or other methods, cut the pipe at the line and sand the edges flat and flush. Then draw out the emitter shroud by simply tracing around the template onto the PVC. Then slide the template off your PVC for a moment to cut the shroud. I would recommend doing this using a rotary tool, as it greatly improves the accuracy and time involved. But if you do not have one, then a simple box cutter will suffice. Simply heat up the PVC where you want to cut, and it'll be like cutting with a hot lightsaber through a blast door. No matter what you use, you will want to clean it up by sanding or filing the cut area. Replace your template. Using a drill straight through the paper and into the PVC on the marked circles on the template. Now, young Padawan, a Jedi must maintain order in the galaxy, so make sure to clean up your space every so often. Slipping a marker under the template, mark the 2 edges of the markings in the center of the template, and once more remove the template. Cut the tape with your blade and lay the template flat. Heat up about a half cup of Polyplastic's moldable plastic and roll it flat on a cookie sheet. I recommend dousing your rolling pin in cool water to keep the plastic from sticking to it. You will want to roll it flat till it is about 1/16 of an inch thick, as even as possible. You may need to reheat it with the heat gun and then do a second roll to spread it out enough. Let it cool and it will release from the pan. Polyplastics also offers pre-flattened sheets and strips if you want to go that route. Use the template to mark the rectangle shape you need to cut out on the flattened plastic and cut it out with tin snips or a strong pair of scissors. Line the plastic strip up with the marks you made on the PVC and use the heat gun to soften the plastic and adhere it to the PVC all around. Then use what I call the aqua thermodigitation technique to smooth out the surface by dipping your fingers in some cool water and gently rubbing the surface smooth. Give the surface another quick heat pass and using a butter knife, carving tool, or other, press in a line a 1/2 inch from both edges of the plastic. Then, in a process of heating, shaping, and smoothing, between the 2 lines you just made, make many more about 1/8 of an inch apart. Then do the same thing going the other direction, essentially making a crosshatch pattern across the entire middle section of the plastic, leaving the 2 edges untouched. Using your template and flattened plastic, trace out 2 of the rectangles by themselves and 1 rectangle with a switch added to it. Cut them out as before. The 3 pieces will fit together to make the entire switch piece on the lightsaber. Gently heat the adjoining sides of each piece and attach them together, making sure to clean up the sides and keeping them square as possible. Then if you would like, you can also add some detail on the top of the switch to better match the original lightsaber. You will attach this piece on the plastic strip in line with the hole that is offset nearest the emitter shroud. As before, gently heat both surfaces and press them together, cleaning up the edges. Now, using the long white rectangle on the original template page, trace 2 of them onto your flattened plastic and cut them out. Measure the distance from the edge of the emitter shroud before it steeps down to the top of the textured strip in the middle of the saber, and cut a piece of 1 inch PVC pipe down to that length. Or you can just cut a 6 inch piece if you aren't worried about balance. Sand down the bottom so that it is flat and flush. This piece will slide inside of the 1 1/4 inch PVC pipe, even with this point on the emitter shroud. Using the rectangle pieces you just cut a moment ago, you will add the angled coupler look to the top of the emitter. Place the first right along the top of the 1 inch PVC and heat it as done before to adhere it to the PVC. Then, using the aqua thermodigitation technique, smooth the plastic and press it so that it slants out as it moves towards the edge of the PVC. Then, while the plastic is still warm, slide the PVC into place and reheat and clean up the plastic as needed. Then place the other rectangle roughly 1/2 inch away from the first and repeat the process with a slant in the other direction. Next, soften 1 teaspoon of plastic in hot water. Roll it a little and heat the end so it becomes sticky. Place it inside the lowest hole on the saber and press it into a flat circular base for a button. You may need to remove a little excess that you can use in a second. Using the excess bit you removed, heat and shape it into a round dome button-like shape. We will add this piece to the button base we just created. Random side option, you can sand down the inside of the emitter angling down from the edge for an additional realistic look, but it's not necessary. Once more, with 1 teaspoon of plastic, do the same thing you did before, now with the highest hole on the saber. This time, make the button base a bit wider and flatter. Shape out a small cylinder using another teaspoon of plastic, about 1/4 inch tall and slightly smaller circumference than the button base. Once more, using some of the spare plastic, create a little domed button shape again. Stick this and the cylinder together when they have cooled, and then stick this entire piece onto the button base. Heat up the surface of the cylinder portion, and using a utensil, press in lines all around the cylinder like a dial would have. While that cools, use your template to trace 4 of the full rounded pieces and 4 of the half pieces onto your flattened plastic. Cut them out as before. These pieces will be assembled to create a tab portion that sits at the top of the emitter shroud. Gently heat the surface and use the force to assemble them together. Once they are bonded, then hit the edges with some heat and smooth them out so it looks like one seamless piece. Once it is cooled, attach it about 1/4 inch above the dial button you just made. Reference the template for placement. Now your lightsaber is all but finished. Slide a 1-inch piece of PVC into the bottom of the hilt. Mark a spot about an 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch below the hilt on the PVC and cut it at that mark, and flush the edges. We will use this piece to create a weight cartridge to give your lightsaber a realistic feel. Attach 1 tablespoon of softened plastic along the very bottom rim of the PVC. This will become the base of the hilt. Round off the edges and press it smooth. When the plastic is not super sticky, but still moldable, push the PVC into the hilt and finish shaping the base so that it flows seamlessly between the 2 pieces. With the cartridge removed, use some of your remaining flattened plastic to wrap 2 strips around the cartridge that will help make a snug fit. Once it is cooled, and you can slide it in and out with some effort, you are ready to fill it with pennies, nuts, bolts, old batteries, whatever you would like. Press tinfoil in there tight to fill the gap. Then trace the PVC top on your flattened plastic, cut it out and stick it to the top to cap it off. Now you have an interchangeable cartridge that you can use to add some weight to your saber. You can also use a flashlight to make a cartridge that you can put in as well. I included a link to the flashlight I used in the description. Lastly, for the black grips at the bottom of the saber, you can use the template to shape out the grips with the plastic and attach it to the PVC before painting. Or if you want to be all legit hardcore replica, you can do what I did and rummage through the rubbish at a local auto parts store and get some old windshield wiper blades that have been thrown out. Cut them down to size and glue it on after painting. There you have it. Your completed Anakin Skywalker, or is it Luke Skywalker's? Finn's lightsaber? You want to share this video with your friends. You want to subscribe. Darth Vader!
Darth Vader!
Oh no!
Oh,
Is he coming after you?
Dad.
Let's get him?
Yeah.
Okay. How are they fighting these robes? It's like my lightsaber's like getting caught in my sleeve and... I bet if they were sitting there fighting pretty intensely, they'd probably... Anyway, okay, I'm out.